Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. Are you stuck in the corporate rat race, worrying about layoffs, and longing to take control of your destiny? This is the place for frustrated executives like you who want to escape the grind, live life on your own terms, and build wealth. Whether you're ready to make a full transition into franchise ownership or want to start building a side business along your corporate job, Pete guides you every step of the way. He'll talk about how to create career and income security, diversify your assets and income, and live life on your own terms. Your path to controlling your own destiny starts now.
Welcome to the Hire Yourself podcast. My name is Pete Gilfillan. I am an entrepreneur, the best-selling author of the book Hire Yourself, a nationally recognized franchise consultant, and a proud corporate escapee. I escaped the corporate rat race. And my mission in life is to help corporate level executives do the same thing I did. Take control of their destiny, to build wealth, and to live life on their terms. And in my podcast, I always try to pose a question. And the question I want to pose today is, will the disappearing corporate ladder impact your future? I was raised that you go to college, you get a job with a company, you work there, and you retire from there. And those days are gone, right? There is no loyalty on any side from that standpoint. And what the average person is basically changing jobs every 4 years. The average corporate executive is changing jobs every 4 years. So it is a crazy world out there. And we're seeing a lot of activity in terms of layoffs and uncertainty and from that kind of stuff. And part of this uncertainty, I believe that with all this craziness, we're seeing less hiring, more layoffs, all that kind of stuff. And we're seeing AI come in there and collapse layers of management. Well, believe it or not, I believe there are 6 reasons why the corporate ladder is disappearing. And that's important because we're senior level executives. We want to continue to go up the corporate ladder, or maybe we don't as the ladder disappears. So you can answer the question for yourself, but as we talk about why the corporate ladder is disappearing, I mean, first of all, automation, AI is eating into the lower rung jobs. It's amazing how much AI is taking a lot of these entry level and these mid-tier jobs, the data entry, the data analysis, and they're eliminating a lot of times these entry level positions or the first rung in the ladder, right? And I think about the Fortune article that Jim Farley talked about is that AI is eating entry-level jobs up. And those jobs are essential to the economy. Just think, I've invested $100,000 into college and I can't get in a job. I'm stuck. So I've invested that money. Maybe I've got student loans, I've got the debt, and I can't get that first job. Through that first rung is not available for me. So bottom line is that AI, and Fast Company talks about it, AI is erasing the first rung of the corporate ladder. So that's hard. It makes it harder. So I actually encourage parents to think about, instead of your kids trying to find a job, stake them and help them buy their first franchise, right? Let them take control of their destiny at an early age. Heck, you've invested in their future. You might as well set them up. Transfer a little bit of wealth. That first rung is disappearing. Also, skill-based and title-based advancement it used to be that you could just kind of move up the ladder, but now you got to prove it. You got to have the skills to get to the next ladder, right? The old model, climbing the ladder by title and tenure, is fading. Companies now are promoting based on skills and project results, not years of service. And I think a little bit about my son. He's in data science, and part of getting promoted is running a project to prove that he can get to the kind of that next level, deliver those results. And Forbes talks about this, right? The career ladder is dead. Success is now dependent on a skill profile, not changing titles. So I think that's really important. You're moving now based on your skills and not your tenure, it's a significant shift. So prepare now. Consider working on improving your skills. And the idea is our skills will allow us to continue to move up. Or maybe you choose to just escape the corporate world and invest in your first franchise business. And I certainly help people do that. The third is, we've talked about this before many times, is the flattening of organizations, right? They are removing layers of management. So management teams are leaner. There's less layers between managers. And Forbes talks a little bit about this. Technology is allowing firms to flatten their hierarchies. They're really focusing on agile functionality over bureaucracy, which makes a lot of sense to me, right? It just makes it easier. If there are less layers, that means there's less promotions or less rungs in the ladder. So we need to start preparing for that, right? So we want to kind of look at this as that we want to look for opportunities that maybe are outside of our current job. So looking to move up the ladder by going to another company or buy your first franchise, right? Create your own ladder where you are in control of your destiny, building wealth and living life in your terms. You know, job hopping and these boundaryless careers, we're seeing now that people, they're not waiting decades to make it in their company. They are deciding to get off the corporate ladder. They're going and kind of creating their own track, for lack of better terms. Maybe it's changing careers. It doesn't make any difference, but this idea of being in that corporate job, going up the ladder, it's not as important to Generation X and millennials. They're not going to wait decades to become that partner, to get to the vice president level. They're going to go out there and go find opportunities. Maybe they're going to create multiple income streams, right? Then maybe they invest in a franchise. Maybe they invest in real estate. They find other different types of jobs. Bottom line is that we talk about this corporate ladder, this middle management decline. Companies are cutting back on middle management. Often it's just overhead. The results, there's fewer rungs in the middle and less upward mobility. And we read about this, right? Forbes calls it the trend of grow talent without a ladder. And that makes a lot of sense to me. Whether we like it or not, there are no guarantees in you're going to move up the ladder, right? The middle now is kind of a dead zone. So we talked about the lower end of the ladder, where the lower rung is going. The middle is collapsing. There's just less of them. So we need to leverage our experience. There is, as we've talked about in other podcasts, that another pressure on the corporate ladder is market mobility in increased pressure, right? So when we talk about pressure, I mean mergers, restructuring, shifts in the strategy of the company. The ladder is unstable then because we're restructuring, we're eliminating redundancy of positions. So the idea of a job is stability or career income security it's not true anymore in a volatile market where the ladder, the corporate ladder, as we knew it before, is disintegrating. So what do? Well, as you're trying to climb the ladder, understand that you're going to have to move. You're going to have to adjust. It's not like it used to be. You're going to have to improve your skills. You may have to move to different companies. You may have to start your own business or buy your first business. And that could be a franchise. I work with executives all the time with this idea is that maybe they want to just escape the corporate world, or maybe they want to protect themselves as the ladder collapses, their future opportunities disintegrate. Maybe they want to create a side business, buy a franchise, have it be a side business. Or maybe they want to keep their options open and maybe they just invest in a business where now they're 100% of their time and energy, leveraging that corporate experience, their leadership skills to build their own business. It doesn't make any difference. I'm here to help executives look at buying their first business. And I encourage them to go to my website, Hire Yourself, schedule a 15-minute call with me. Tell me a little bit about your situation. Why would you consider buying your first business? And I'll tell you a little bit about how I can help you buy your first franchise, or simply put, hire yourself, which is obviously the name of my book. And if you ever want a free copy of my book, I'll certainly send you one. It's a great resource for you. At the end of the day, you have to decide, will the corporate ladder that's disintegrating impact your career? And I suspect most likely it will, but you have to answer that question. But I'm here for you. I always encourage you to subscribe, follow my content. I'm here to help you take control of your destiny, to build wealth and live life in your terms. And again, all you have to do is go to hireyourself.com, schedule 15 minutes with a call. It's that easy. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us on the Hire Yourself podcast. Pete's here to help you break free from the corporate rat race, take control of your destiny, and finally live life on your own terms. Whether that's jumping into franchise ownership full-time or starting it as a side hustle. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, share it with a fellow frustrated executive, and leave a review to let us know your thoughts. Until next time, take charge, build your future, and live life on your own terms.